Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath peace. Nawathan, Kal, Halalimla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, giving all praises to Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayaf, the water, the house of David, scattered abroad, consisting of the governing body in the kingdom to come, the 144,000, 12,000 men, prophets of each tribe of Yasha'Allah, Israel, the princes of the power, as well as the innumerable multitude scattered abroad, the remnant of men, women, and children outside of the office of a prophet that believe on this gospel and rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of their ability, including the 1/3 of men, women, and children here in Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. This is your brother Sazapanya of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. Church, Adawan Ratazah, Lord willing. This spiritual commentary, digital epistle is edifying unto the elect. So this is Gregory Manarino, all right, going into the financial markets, all right, regarding with the stable coins. And he's going into biometric IDs. If you could see on his newsletter, I don't know if you could see it, moving forward, especially with this new stablecoin token system rollout, we are going to see more and widespread use of biometric IDs. Okay, now, let's get that word biometric in the etymology real quick, because we're in a state or a time of analyzing, like Elder Apostle Tahar says. All right, so we have to really analyze. Matter of fact, let's look up the word analyze real quick. Analyze is a verb, circa 1600, of material things to dissect, take to pieces. All right, analysis, examine critically to get the essence of, you see, to examine closely, right? So we're in a time where we're supposed to really examine, look at things really through a spiritual lens, all right? So your mind's eye, so to speak, all right, in a critical sense, because what we're dealing with really has to do with life and death. That's what the scripture says, all right, regarding with taking the MOTB, because this is nothing but a code word. Biometric ID is nothing but a code word, all right, for the radio frequency identification chip, hence the word ID, okay? Because identification just really, it goes into census, it goes into registry, all right? Record keeping, accounting, ledgers, all right? Cattle, bondsmen, bondswomen, slaves, servants, things of that nature, all right? So as we looked up the word analyze, now we're going to look up the word biometric. Let's look up that. Biometric is of pertaining to biometry. Biometry is the calculation of life expectancy, application of mathematics to the study of biology. You see that? Process. So metry is bio plus metry. Bio is a word forming element, especially in scientific compounds, meaning life. All right. And then metry is a word forming element, meaning process of measuring. So it's literally a process of measuring life. Okay. And really the only one that's supposed to be doing that is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. So when you get into the nitty gritty, the analyzing of biometric ID, Esau wants to identify you by measuring your life. And how does he do that? By controlling your buying and your selling, which essentially controls everything about you based on how this human interaction, things of that nature work, because you don't produce the principles of life. The scriptures talk about the principles of life. Let's go get that real quick and then we'll continue. Prince, it's in the Apocrypha. Prince, Lord willing, I can get it. Principles. Salakia. principle. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 26. It reads, "The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing." Okay, and these things you do not create. You're not an ironsmith. You're not a salt miner. You're not a farmer of wheat. Okay, you're not a beekeeper, right? You don't own no cows or goats. Okay, you don't have no vineyards, right? And you don't own no what they call it, textile. Is it textile or merchant markets? Okay. So with that being said, you have to buy these things, or you do one of these things. You pick an industry and you sell it, so you can have money to buy the other principles. Okay, so this is how the Lord is. Well, on the left hand side, Esau able to really take control of what he wants to do through via biometrics to take over and control everybody's life, specifically the Israelites, because that's really, who he wants about, because it's about his birthright. He wants to. This goes back to Psalms 83. You know what I mean? The first nation that was mentioned is the Tabernacles of Edom, who wants to blot the name of Israel under heaven, completely get rid of you. So without further ado, then we're going to get some more precepts. We're going to listen to this, filter through the scriptures, all right, as we're watchmen, and then close it on out.
Biometric ID. This is the full breakdown, and I'm going to cover this in entirety. Lions, moving forward, especially with this new stablecoin token system rollout, we're going to see more and widespread use of biometric IDs. I was talking with a friend of mine last night. He's a former U.S. Navy intel officer. I know you're watching right now, buddy.
And it was crazy when I heard that. I don't know, but I'm speculating based on what I've read in Behold the Pale Horse. What was his name? Ryan Cooper, who wrote that. All right, that went into the chariots, went into the MOTB, went into the Illuminati plan, so on and so forth. Right. He was at one point in time a naval intelligence officer. So same thing like this guy that he got. And in the preface of that book, it talks about how there's Masonic ties in order to go up the ranks in the United States Navy in their intelligence department. So there's a high chance that what he has an insider. A lot of these guys really, dealing with insiders. And I'm, Gregory Maynard, I'm not, I don't know him, but just throwing it out there.
Where this is going and what it means. So I put this together. So what is a biometric ID? Biometric IDs use your body and behavior as the key to digital access. Now I got a chart here. This is right off of Google search. You can do this for yourself, all right?
So I'm gonna read this. You probably can't see it. It says biometric type, and then it gives an example use. Okay. So it says biometric type, facial recognition. Example, unlock phone or enter buildings. Iris or retina scan, border/passport control. And you have that at your airports right now. Gotta take a picture in front of the fucking some bum ass photo database type bullshit, and they make it seem like as if it's mandatory, but they just gonna cause problems if you don't do it. It's not the MOTB, but I'm just showing you, certain examples. Fingerprints, bank logins, and law enforcement. That's right. You get locked up, they need your fingerprint. Even your iPhones, you had to do the Touch ID before it became the face scan or whatever. And they probably do that at, private banking. Let's say you're getting real money like that. Open up a little escrow account, trust, or whatever. They need your fingerprint, whatever. Voice patterns, smart devices, verification. Say Tuesday. They want you to say it. And then through the algorithm of AI on a low level, they're able to see your tone, pitch of voice, so on and so forth. Gait recognition, which is crazy because the scriptures talk about gait. All right, matter of fact, go get that just for edification's sake. Because these type of words we have to know. Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 30, it says, a man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is, right? And your gait is basically how you walk, your aura, your swagger. You feel me? So they're able to recognize through AI, all right, by how you walk, how you move, how you open doors, who you are. That's crazy, right? Shows you that this devil wants to be like the Most High. It talks about that. Thessalonians, Isaiah 14, so on and so forth, right? DNA profiling, criminal database, health IDs. You see? So they literally profile, okay? Oh, I read your profile. So they have records on the building blocks. What is it? Deoxyribonucleic acid or some shit, whatever DNA. It's been a minute. Behavior analysis, typing speed, scrolling habits, and this is what your phone does. It analyzes, right, how you do things, what you clicking on, so on and so forth. You could be talking about the new uptowns, the all white ups with the new flavor, the Nike check, looking crazy. You like, yo, I'ma cop those. Next thing you know, you scrolling and you see Foot Locker talking about, yo, we got these. You like, yo, how the fuck? Yeah, because it's listening to you, it's knowing what you click in, so on and so. And this is the type of thing that Esau is doing. He wants to be just like the Most High. He wants to be able to know every. Yahweh Shah said that, the Lord knows every single piece of hair on your head, man. So this devil literally. So when you see biometric, he wants to measure every single thing of your life. We talking about the devil here, the so-called white man, which he's an Edomite. He is a son of Esau, reincarnated of Cain. All right, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man, Shatan, Satanos. All right.
There's this. It's hard to see. It's hard for me to cover, but basically, it explains to you what the biometric type is and what it's used for. All right, so just have a look at that real quick. I'll keep it here for a second so you can get a handle on this. I want you to have this in your hand. And if you then, again, do sub to the Freedom Platform, you'll have it in your hand right now. So tie in the stablecoin token system. The biometric ID is the lock, and the stablecoin token is the key. Best way I can think about it. But again, this goes far beyond the stablecoin system. Now I'm just going to focus on this because again, it's getting no coverage. No one's talking about it. That should tell you how big it is.
And it was crazy. Revelation 13 verses 16 on down, right? He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, a mark in their right hand or their forehead, that no man might buy or sell unless he has the mark. He just used a good example. The stable coin is the key, and the biometric is the lock. So if we were to interchange that, right, with RFID chip with biometric is the lock, what's going to open up, so to speak, the mark of the beast? It's the currency system. Cryptocurrency is the key. So this is why we're in the middle of this great reset, this great wealth transfer, right? This crypto manifest destiny, if you will. And this is going to open up, right, the lock of controlling people through the mark of the beast, man, through buying and selling, which is going to be digital currency.
Actually is. Stablecoins are being tied to centralized payment rails controlled by FedNow. Most of you have heard what about FedNow. Have you heard the term FedNow? But I'm going to break down what FedNow actually is. It's the Trojan horse. FedNow is the Federal Reserve's instant payment system launched in July 2023. It allows real-time 24/7 money, or soon-to-be stablecoin transfers, stablecoin token transfers between banks.
See, the inward thoughts of this man is deep, bro. Because I remember when brothers, CB FedNow, like, no. Like, but we're coming into this, I don't want to say it's difficult to explain, but I want to explain it in a way that people could understand and be edified. Like, the stock market, it opens and closes every day. On the weekend, it's closed. The crypto market do not close. we're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars is going to be moving while you sleep instantaneously. And this is going to affect and speed up. I just did a video yesterday talking about the exponential era. People have no understanding. And when I say people, I'm not talking about, the Akim and the truth and the very few Aqua out there. All right. But when Yahushua said, unless the days be shortened, the elect, for the elect's sake, the days going to be shortened. We have to fully meditate and understand what substance understanding do we have of what Yahushua himself said when he said that, man. Things is going to move quickly. Habakkuk 2, man. Like, and I did a video before, quantum computing, AI, and blockchain technology, Esau's trifecta. This thing is like, remember, he's wiser than Daniel. This devil then went, and all of this shit is 50 to 100 years old as far as the thought process of how to get to this point to control the world and everybody in it. You understand?
And institutions. No waiting, no delays, always on. FedNow is the digital spine of Babylon, a gateway to total monetary control. How it works? Again, it's not. A lot of people thought that FedNow was a currency. Everybody, it is not a currency.
Right.
It's the rails. It's the plumbing.
Right.
It's the infrastructure for moving any digital dollars or stablecoin tokens instantly. It connects.
And I'll say this: FedNow is built off of Ripple technology.
Banks, businesses, eventually people. 24/7, 365. Transfers settle in seconds between banks that are enrolled. Now, FedNow again is the Trojan horse. Once everyone is connected, control can really begin, and that comes down to biometric IDs and the consent that you're going to have to, unfortunately.
That consent is that he causeth all. You see?
I hope you resist, have to submit to you.
But they're going to make the environment so bad where you give consent willingly. If you're not of the elect, because the Lord has set up 7,000 men to not bow the knee to Baal. All right.
Use this system freely, you must verify your identity. And the gold standard of identity, one guess, people, it's your biometric data. So global financial conversion.
So the gold standard of identity is your biometric data. Like the gold standard of identity is your biometric data. The gold standard of identity is your biometric data. Okay? So the only way that you can fully register or account for yourself is by allowing Esau the process to measure your life through your actions and behavior patterns, specifically with buying and selling. Lord willing, I don't want to write this out. That makes sense.
Okay, the rollout of FedNow, stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, and everything else here, and biometric IDs is not just a United States initiative. It is being driven by international forces, including the IMF, the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the BIS, UN-backed digital identity programs, the TRAP sequence. It's all here. How they're going to trap people.
So notice he noticed all of this central banks. All right. Who do we say the central bankers are, man? All right, specifically the tribe of Amalek, the grandson of Esau Edom, and the Amalekites are your small hatters, your gentrifiers, hook nose, bagel eating, right? You wish you was us people, man.
Trap sequence: incentivize a digital wallet, open an account, get 200 bonus stablecoin tokens, convert your $10 into stablecoin tokens, and get 13 back. Require biometric verification for fraud protection. Please verify your face for your safety and add a fingerprint and even a retina scan. Tie all activity to the wallet. Income, bills, insurance, and medical, all linked to the wallet.
You see that? Everything is going to be linked to a digital wallet, bro. And it's all, see, when we, yo, this is why I say the water Yabashim Shah for the elders, man, because what other camps is going into the Hebrew? When you look at the word mark in Revelation 13 and 16 on down, it is the Greek word charagma, right? Which means a palisade, a stake. The root word of charagma is charax, right? Which goes into the injection instrument, so to speak, the graving tool, right? And the root word of charax goes to grapho, where you get the word graphics from, right? And it means an application or written. So when you understand all of this digital shit, what do you do on the digital? You write programs, right? So there's many programs like on your phone, many applications that has been written and downloaded into the phone, which is going to be on the RFID chip. So all of these things is going to be connected to the stablecoin, to the biometric, ID, which is code word, right? For the RFID chip. Because everything about your life is going to be tokenized, bro. And they're going to be buying and selling you on just like they do now, but they're doing it with fiat currency now. And that is going to be digital fiat. Fiat meaning fake, is not backed upon nothing. And that's another lesson for another day. As far as everything being tokenized, I reposted that earlier today on the community on my YouTube. But the tokenization is really something deep if you really get into it. We talking about, like, if you can understand finances, and let's say we take the world, right? You got your first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension. Imagine another dimension on the financial sector. Something, you're superposing something that is a representative of the value, but it really don't have value, right? So that means we in an unlimited space. It's like this devil Esau is trying to create literally a whole world, create man in his image, and create his so-called Idan, Eden, paradise, earth, but digitally through metaverse and this and that and the third, and how you could so-called make money and trade money, and it's in the it's like it's imaginary, like imaginary world. Like, this shit is weird, on some Ready Player One type shit. If anybody seen Ready Player One, this shit is crazy. And we not talking no 2050, 2030. Like that's why I did that exponential age, because as time goes on, technological advances is squaring, multiplying. Like, it's not adding. It's not like, oh, okay, 6 months from now, and then another 6 months is going to be twice them. No, we talking about 6 months from now is going to be twice the technology we had now, and then in 3 months is going to be twice the technology that we have in the next 6 months, and then a month and a half, 45 days, and then after 40, another 30 days is going. You see what I'm saying? And if you graph it, it's literally just going to the moon.
This is where it's going, people. And if you don't believe me on this, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
Please do your own research. Everything is going to be linked to the wallet. Okay, introduce smart contracts. Most of you have heard of these.
Everything is going to be linked to the wallet. What do you do with your wallet? You put money in your wallet. What do you do with that money? You buy shit or you sell shit. What is that wallet going to be inside of you? Because it's biometric. They're going to see how you spend, what you spend, this and that. This is, yo, son. Yo, it's going to get crazy.
These things. Lynette Zhang. Check out Lynette Zhang. She did an incredible piece on smart contracts a while back. Lynette, love you. So introduce.
That smart contract shit is another fucking complicated woozy when you go into it. because this is what, see, what we're dealing with is how this whole 2007, 2008, 2009, the Great Recession, the Great Economic Crisis started, right? In the late 90s, early 2000s, banks was giving out mortgages to people that couldn't afford it, and they was betting on it, like on some Vegas type shit, on if they're going to pay back or not. It created a bubble. This is where the term derivatives come from. So they was just creating money out of thin air, putting it on a computer, you see, and people would, and so this, it was just inflated bubble of money, fake money, non-existent money. And then when people couldn't pay these things back and this and that and the third because they ain't got it, the housing market crashed. And the same thing is happening now. And that's why they're trying to hurry up to switch it to this digital system. But it's nothing but a kick the can down the road. But it will give them more power because they will have a greater reign over digital money compared to cash, because they can surveil and track on an easier level, you see?
Smart contracts. Stablecoin access program based on behavior or compliance with new laws. Turn off non-compliant accounts, dissonant, frozen funds, wrong tweet, wallet deactivated, misinformation, biometric access denied. This is it, people. I've been warning for I don't know how long now about a system of maximum control. What we're seeing here is takedown of.
So when Elder Apostle Gabar, be like, yo, what is this all about? What's the point? It's about control. You see what they're talking about, man? Because a true man, or should I say a true God, right, has full control over their subjects. You see? So we're waiting to be in that position on the right-hand side through righteousness. Looking for Yahweh to send back his son, Yahweh Shai, to put everybody in control, right? And to rule this thing righteously. And by default, Lord willing, we have that number to be co-heirs of that inheritance. You see? Because we don't have our women in control. We don't have our children in control. We don't have control of the world, even though the world was made for our sakes. We don't have these heathen in control. We barely even have ourselves in control because of this wicked-ass flesh that we in. But we the only ones that's trying, rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of our ability. You see? According to the scriptures. You see? So this thing is about control. This thing is about world domination. What are you, who, and see, people don't even understand men, man. They don't understand men. They don't understand how, and men don't even understand themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Jake. What did the Lord create you for as an Israelite? To be a peculiar nation, a royal priesthood. He made us kings and priests, according to the book, what is that, Revelation, chapter 1, right? Matter of fact, let's go and get that real quick. Babu Kusha. Let's get that. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 6, and it says, and hath made us kings and priests unto the Most High. Well, no, unto Yahweh Shai. It says God, and it says, and his Father, showing you that they're not the same people. So Yahweh Shai is a God, right? So Yahweh Shai and Yahweh, who is his Father, which is our Father, to him be glory and dominion forever and ever. You see, that dominion. You see? So it's full control over the subjects that's under him, to dominate those that are under him. All right? So us as Israelites, what is a king supposed to have? A kingdom. That's what dominion. A king has dominion in his kingdom. You see? So we're looking for that. But Esau's trying to do that on the left-hand side. But while he's doing it, the people are mourning because they're wicked.
The current system only to extort, and I've used that word many, many times, more control out of you. So what this system destroys at its basic level, we're going to talk about cash here, cash. Again, Think about what I'm saying. These stablecoin tokens, they're not currency. They're certainly not cash and they're not money. They are tokens. So cash, freedom of anonymous exchange, privacy. Your body becomes public property via the biometric ID. Ownership, access, not permission is granted. Granted. Think about what I'm saying. Liberty, non-compliance equals you're out of the system. Now, biometric ID plus stablecoin wallet equal digital slavery grid. People, I really wish you would have this in your hand. And for those of you, again, who already sub to the Freedom Platform, you have it. You can't just hear this. You have to study this stuff. Now, you are no longer a citizen. You are you become a biometric token in a programmable economy. You become a tradable asset. People, how do I say this another way? I've been warning that everything is going to become tokenized. You, yourself, your biometric ID is going to become a tradable asset. You will be tokenized. Does this sound familiar to you? I hope it.
Yeah, so what does that mean? That you're nothing but a fucking slave. You're cattle to the Edomites, the Amalekites. You see, you're going to be traded like a commodity. Let's get Revelation 18. And then we soon close out. I don't want to make it too long. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And we're going to start at verse 10. It says, standing afar off for the fear of a torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So these are the kings of the earth, as it says in verse 9. They're going to be standing afar off, meaning they're going to be watching the live stream of America being destroyed by the nuclear missiles in World War III. That's the torment. Babylon is America. It's that city, and in 1 hour, a short period of time, all right, the missiles is going to come. All right, do the research on ICBMs and see how quick 6,000 miles per hour is, man. 5,000 miles, how quick a missile can travel. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn for her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. You see? So all of these things are merchandise pursuant to verse 12. So the souls of men is merchandise to these other nations. So how better can you do it if you tokenize it or make a representative of that soul on blockchain, which is somewhat hard to understand. But if you understand the whole straw man and your name in capital letters is different than who you actually are, you know, that whole maritime law shit, Moorish science shit, right? Which is a fact, but you don't fight this devil with the sword. You fight it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're not going to win. Look at Gad. Gad made treaties with this devil. What happened? He got overtook, but he will overcome at the last, as the scriptures say. So you can't write your way out of slavery, habeas corpus your way out. Yahushua is the savior. He delivers. Yahushua saves. Okay? So this thing is literally to make every fucking body, every fucking thing a slave.
Become tokenized.
Like, this is why the Matrix is such a spiritual movie, man. All right?
You, yourself, your biometric ID is going to become a tradable asset. You will be tokenized. Does this sound familiar to you? I hope it does, because I've only been telling you this for 1,000 years. You know, maybe I'll follow up with a paper on this too as well. But I want you to think about what I wrote here. Don't let this stuff go in one ear and out the other. They're collecting everything they can about you, and they're going to reduce you into some kind of a tradable asset. And a big part of this is your biometric ID.
Right. So notice how I said everything about you. Again, let me bring up that precept. I did quote it, but dealing with Yahweh Shai, because they want to be like the Most High, man. That is such a key. Lord willing, I could do a video on that. You know, the intricacies of how the Most High deals with us, and He knows everything. He's omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, as Esau likes to use those words regarding Yad-He, Wah-He, Yahweh. They call him by different names, but he only has one name, and the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. The point is in verse 30. And fear not them which kill the body, these Edomites, but are not able to kill the soul. Exactly. They want to sell your soul. They can't kill it though. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Literally put you in the ground, but also put you in an oppressive state, because all of these things come from the Lord. Doesn't it say in Psalms that the issues of death comes from the Lord? Right? And isn't also hell a state of condition? Verse 29, are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father? You see? So the Lord even deals with the birds, the fowls of the air, and what happens to them. And they just a fucking bird, a fucking fowl. Verse 30, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Who numbered the hairs? Yahweh. Same reason why we don't know how much Israelites is on the planet. They're as the sands of the sea and the stars of heaven. And if you even try to do that, you're doing a wicked thing. You know? Because the Lord wants us to be fruitful and multiply. But the point here is that if the Lord knows the very hairs on our head and numbered it, that's the type of knowledge that Esau Edom wants to do with our body. They want to metric our life, bio. And the way to do that is through the RFID chip.
And of course, they're going to know everything about you via the stablecoin tokens. Can you see how this is coming together, the convergence, or you still can't see it? This is freedom to you, right? This is what freedom looks like. People opt out of biometric ID where possible.
No, opt out of the RFID chip. Because I honestly do believe, and I speak as a man, that Akim wa Akwath, we're going to use most likely stablecoin, CBDC, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Because the way that they're about to move this thing it's going to be so quick, so vast. Whatever crisis, FF, whatever comes, and the gradualism is going to start off by doing that, and then eventually they're going to push that chip. And when they push that chip, that's when it's like, all right, yeah, it's a wrap for this. We already know what's next. But there's going to be a small pocket of time where money is going to be made. We're going to almost, I don't want to say force, but it's going to be difficult to move outside of that system. But again, it's not the mark of the beast. We know what the mark of the beast is. So, if you're using certain things and not, don't put nothing inside you. But stable coins, I see having to be used in order to use the world and not abuse it, like Paul said. But when that time comes, oh yeah, it's over with. We out of here. Pilgrims upon the earth. And then the Lord going to do what the Lord do, man. He's going to take care of his elect, those that trusted in him. So with that, I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kodash Shemai Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad. On to the next one. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Baruch Ba'ashem Kodash La Akim Wa Akwath. On to the next one. Shalom.